Aloha. Welcome to A Course in Miracles, lesson 18. Workbook for students. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. So today, the idea for today is another step in learning that the thoughts which give rise to what you see are never neutral or unimportant. If you remember the last couple of lessons, lesson 16 was I have no neutral thoughts. And therefore, lesson 17, I see no neutral things. And today, I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. So, there's this kind of idea that I think about, when I think, okay, my thoughts are creating the world that I perceive. Well, then why doesn't someone else see the world totally different from me? And in a sense they do, but how come we see things very similar? And especially if you have similar thoughts, like right now in America, there's a very polarized way of seeing this country. I mean, I've never seen it so polarized in my whole life. And I look at one side of the polarization and think, wow, how can they possibly see it that way? I mean, it's obvious that it's not that way. And then they look at me and say the very same thing. How can he possibly see the world the way he does? He's totally, obviously delusional. But the thing is that my thoughts are probably very different than their thoughts are. And since they're seeing their thoughts projected outside of them, and I'm seeing my thoughts projected outside of me, then in a way we're totally assigning different meaning to whatever it is we're seeing. But this actually, the lesson for today is saying no matter who we are, even that group that sees the world different from me, we are still seeing it because we're all one. We're seeing it in the same way. So there's a very deep thoughts that are even deeper thoughts than what is going on in the political world, for example, that are affecting the way we see reality. Things that have nothing to do with, who's in the White House right now or whatever is going on in the news. And this is what we want to talk about today. I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. Okay, I'm seeing effects of my thoughts, but I'm not alone in that. The idea for today is another step in learning that the thoughts which give rise to what you see are never neutral or unimportant. It also emphasizes the idea that minds are joined. In the Course, in the text of the Course, it often brings up this idea that bodies aren't joined. I look at someone else's body and I say, okay, they're over there, I'm over here, our bodies are not joined. But even though our bodies seem to be separate, and we seem to be in separate bodies, thinking separate thoughts, the Course tells us that our minds are still joined in the one mind. So this lesson, I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. It emphasizes the idea that minds are joined, which will be given increasing stress later on in this workbook. Today's idea does not refer to what you see as much as to how you see it. Okay. Therefore, the exercises for today emphasize this aspect of your perception. The 3 or 4 practice periods which are recommended should be done as follows. Look around you, selecting subjects for the application of the idea for today as randomly as possible, and keeping your eyes on each one long enough to say, I am not alone in experiencing the effects of how I see. Now notice it says how I see, not what I see, but how I see. Conclude each practice period by repeating the more general statement, I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. And a minute or so, or even less, will be sufficient for each practice period. So this is a very short one today. But it is introducing to us, and we're continuing to introduce to us the idea that our thoughts are giving rise to what we see. But it's introducing the idea that we're not alone in how we see. Our minds are joined. So have fun with it today. Send out love and peace and to all of you. And I will see you tomorrow. Aloha.